So, you know, you can't put plants down unless you know you're going to feed them. Time for another foliar feed. Another 55 gallons. Check up on various propagation stuff. The figs are exploding into some green. Won't be long to be able to plug those in. Turmeric is taken off. Heavy cloud cover today, so that'll be nice for foliar feeding. But as you can see by the trees there, exceptionally windy. So here we are at the farm. And you can see it's pretty windy. Also, those potatoes are starting to grow pretty nice now. So I just finished getting a foliar feed down. Still having some suction issues with that pump, so it's not quite as efficient as I would like it to be. But we'll get it sorted out. So I got a foliar feed and an inoculant down. And these plants are blowing up out of the ground, so I'm happy. Alright. A little tired. Need some coffee. Should get back here and get some mulching done and some other stuff. Oh hey. Look who came to visit again. So just check up on ginger and potatoes. And I was digging through some seed archives and came across some yellow wax bean seed. So I thought I would put some of those in here on the ginger. I figured that's a good spot to use up some canopy space and make a seed run production that the rabbits are less likely to mess with than the deer, because we're not fenced on the farm yet. So I'm sticking a few in there. I'm going to stick a couple right around this potato. And that'll give us a nice little canopy, and it'll give us a nice leguminous nitrogen fixing crop to help support the nitrogen use of the potato. And so the other thing that's going on here that needs to be done is these have been in sort of semi-shade, semi-sun to let them acclimatize since they're transplant and come through that hot spell. But now it's cooled off a bit. The weather's much nicer. They've had a chance to acclimatize and they're ready to take full sunlight. So I'm going to slide them out with the other plants here and get them out into full sun. So now those are moved out into full sunlight and planted with some beans. I have this, it's basically a cement mixing bin. Had it left over in my stockpile at my mom's from the farm. It needs, well, I needed to clean out. I have 2 bales of sphagnum peat moss that I've had for a long time. I've not used. I didn't really have a great use for. I didn't want to go out and buy a bunch of perlite and stuff to blend it and lighten it. So I dumped it in here, and I'm going to grab the turmeric, the extra turmeric, and ginger and other rhizome type crops and put them in here with some KISS amendments and build this up into a decent soil base mix while I grow a crop. I figured that was the easiest way to use all these pieces that would otherwise kind of sort of go to waste by not being used. So that's the plan. So here we are with turmeric out here. I haven't mixed this bin up yet, but we got things in place and ready to do the job. I've added about a heaping cup of KISS Organics soil amendment mix. So it's just a good easy base mix. And then we'll adjust with foliar feeds as we go. So I've gone and blended that in reasonably thoroughly, broken up most of the bigger blocks. I want to say also that amount of KISS amendment for this is actually fairly small for the volume of soil, but since I'm planting live rhizomes directly in, I I don't want it too hot. I don't want to burn them. So I'm going to put some in now to cook with the soil and blend in. And I'll add other amendments and foliar feeds and more of this over time slowly, so that we build up nutrition but don't burn the plants. A little bit of basalt and granite, and a little bit of nice things about using gypsum instead of lime. Gypsum, also known as calcium sulfate, or CaSO4, its chemical formula. One of the nice things about that is the sulfur content in it, which is a huge part of our biochemical sequence, a huge part of synthesizing proteins, and a bunch of other pieces of sequences. So we need sulfur in our process, and calcium sulfate provides calcium and sulfur, which is a really nice way to bring calcium into the system and help balance what we really need. So for that bin, I'm only taking this little bit. Again, I don't want to disrupt the balance. I want to add some and get the processes started. Always want to get biological processes up and running, and then support them as they grow, like you would anything else. Start small, grow big. And so with the rock dust, I will go a little bit heavier because those are nice. They're high in trace minerals, and they spread out nicely because they're so fine. So there we go. All right. Try and do this reasonably evenly. And of course, I'll mix this back in as well. Again, it's not a lot. We'll add as we go. We're building soil. It's not instant. It's building. I basically just dumped them out upside down. Kind of rough, but whatever. And one's still stuck in the bin here. So you can see this one little rhizome becomes a growing root cluster, shoots that stalk up, and then that's what becomes those big, giant, beautiful leaves, and eventually those big, beautiful flowers if you get it right. And there's an earthworm, so it looks like we're on our way to right. So I'll just show you quick. I just planted the one that I pulled out of the bin there, and I've kind of spread things out a bit here. So there's a good bit of them here, maybe 10, 12, maybe as much as 15 as I dig through. Not a tremendous amount, but you'll see how much these grow into over the summer. With good sunlight here and some foliar feeds and a little bit of nutrient in the soil, these things will crank. All right, so they're now spread out reasonably evenly, and that's that. So we're building soil, keeping a turmeric stock, and I don't know, I might plant some other stuff in here as time goes on, but I figure this is an easy way to manage several pieces. Oh yeah, let's take a quick checkup on our figs, huh? Coming along good. I think I'll put them out in the sun as well. Just a quick checkup on our lemon jordania. That's perking back up real nice in the sun. Foliar feeds. Our lemon tree is perking up real nice, pushing out. Our rosemary is taking off. New green shoots all over it. I just pulled our fig out here, our fig cuttings out here. And I expect those will explode into growth now in good sunlight. And then we've got our ginger with some yellow wax beans, I think, planted. And our one Kennebec potato with our ginger and our turmeric. And our King Arthur peppers. Well, that's a nice sight. Potatoes coming up, looking good. greening up nice. Nice, stiff, healthy looking plant so far. I don't see any CPB signs yet. Colorado potato bug, for those who don't know. And then tomatoes are looking pretty good overall. Although the deer did taste test them. 1 and 2. But apparently they aren't very good tasting, which is kind of what I would suspect. They are in the Solanacea family. Same family as nightshade. Okay, there's our kitty cat friend. Out exploring. Well, now that's a nice sight, huh? Alright, so quick checkup after last night's foliar feed and the recent rains. Things are really perking up nice now. We're getting some good growth on things. Give you a shot of some of these here, right? Nice strong sun. That's what we like to see. Growth taking off. Right on down the road. See if we have any peppers surviving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here, there's one sweet potato I stuck in back when I planted the turmeric. The turmeric is popping. Tomatoes are doing well. So the sweet potatoes they look wilty, but I think actually they're probably going to catch. At least some of them. So that's nice. I overplanted like crazy with the intent that no matter what, if we have a bunch of failures, we'll have something. And if everything takes, it'll be a bit crowded, but we can thin out or trim out. So. And then because this is nice fertile soil here, nice and moist, and we got a section that's to the edge of the road here that's not planted and not really used, I think I'm going to stick the Tarragon in here somewhere for now, or maybe even the back edge of this planting row area. But probably in here, because then I could scoop it out with the hoe, with a bucket on the Massey and move it later if I needed to. And I think I'll have decent soil, light, sun, etc. And it'll be right here for when I foliar drench. I can hit it on the way through. So here we are with the created Tarragon. Shimmied up to our spot. I got a shovel, and I'll pull this out and parse these out. You'll be amazed how many plants are inside of this. It is March 27th, 2024, and I'm just home from Adams Farricker Farms. I brought some Texas Tarragon home with me. I got some other seed stock to talk about. So Adams is a local greenhouse and grocery store and sort of a conglomerate of stuff. I was looking at herbs over there. This is one I didn't have and I've wanted to add, so I bought 10 regular Tarragon plants. Here we are, I've dumped them out of the crate, and you can see they're quite root bound in the bottom of the crate. But that's all right, we were expecting that. And you can see how you can actually separate the different root balls from the different individual plants, where they hit the bottom and shifted over and traveled along the bottom of the root bin. So this is an excellent example of how that actually happens. And instead of ripping the roots, how you can actually peel them out. Because remember, these were trying to go down, right? And they just didn't have anywhere to go down because there was no soil to go down into. So you can kind of peel them and tease them out like that, and they've helped them come down and get ready to go into the new soil. And then I'm going to go ahead and break this soil down. I'll try to get you a shot of that process. you can see how they kind of pop apart into the root balls of the individual plantlets. And then inside of that, if I wanted to go absolutely crazy right off the bat, I could actually parse these out. Like I could take that's a plant. And I could take probably like that. There you go, there's another one. A little rough, but you get the idea. I could go through and split them out like that. I'm not going to do that initially because what I'm going to do is let all these new shoots we see coming on actually grow out, and then we'll take cuts of those, and they'll have little bits of root on the base of them. So I'm going to set them a little deep, and then that gives us a whole bunch of new plants. So that's kind of the idea. And I'll just take those. And so I'll just do a row of them and another row next to that. And I'll carry it out and try and cram them into this space reasonably tight. And we'll see what we get. Oh. There we go. All in. Use a shovel and set them a little deeper so they get good moisture down below, a good chance to get established. Those should do well. We'll have a nice bed of tarragon. And keep building those herbs up. Pretty soon we'll be able to propagate off of these again. I could have divided these more. I just chose not to. I'll just point it out again because it's not intuitively obvious to most people. But right behind our planting here, we have all this native growing green plants, especially those deciduous ones. Serious photosynthetic pumpers, serious soil builders, serious energy gatherers. They help build humic matter, they help hold moisture, they help build energy soil, they supply energy for worms and other microbes, and they make that energy available to the plants in that soil, including the plants that we put in the soil next to them. That will become a benefit for us later. So right under that cedar, dead cedar there, is the corner stake for the corner post for the fence line. It goes down to that other cluster of trees right there, and then across to the stake that you see just in front of the ford there on the knoll, and then back up over here there's a flag, and the line right back through me, and that forms a 7,500 square foot area, 75 foot wide by 100 foot long. Managed to get it cleared of the bigger trees and stuff. We get the ford running again. This will be cut up, fenced, and this will be our first growing area. And we'll probably be running chicken tractors and all kinds of cool stuff in here once we get a secure perimeter against predators and rabbits and deer and all those issues. I just thought I would get a shot of this before it is transformed because it will be very, very different. And I was walking around here trying to get my my bearings and kind of establish to what this farm property will be, and just realizing how different this is going to look. So I thought I would share a clip of it. I'll just take you over to the corner here and give you a shot from this corner as well. And I guess I'll probably go down and grab a shot from the other corners too, just so you can have a perspective and a reference for later, because like I said, here's a shot from that other corner looking back up it, and then I'll back out to a camera point that I set down here. Shoulders and neck and back are super, super sore. big mowing job tomorrow. I'm gonna start that early. So you know what to do. Keep your friends close and your farmers closer. Cheers. Out to do a summer clean out. All empty in here. Gonna shut the lights down for the most part. Vacuum, sterilize, clean. Be ready for fall.